Please come to order. Good morning. Welcome to the Commissioner of St. Mary's County meeting this date, Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. I am Randy Guy, President of the Commissioners of St. Mary's County. I'd like to introduce the other commissioners at this time. Sitting to my right, representing the 1st Commissioner District, which includes Ridge, Piney Point, St. George Island, Mr. Eric Colvin.
Good morning.
Commissioner Hewitt, who represents the 2nd Commissioner District, which includes Leonardtown and Hollywood, is not here today. Sitting to my left, representing the 3rd Commissioner District, which includes Charlotte Hall, 7th District, Golden Beach, and Mechanicsville, Mr. Mike Alderson, Jr.
Morning.
Representing the 4th Commissioner District, which includes Lexington Park, some of California, Great Mills, and some of Hollywood, Mr. Scott Ostro.
Good morning.
David Weiskopf, Interim County Administrator, is sitting at the table to my left.
Morning.
Sitting at the table to my right is our Communications Director, Jenna Guzman.
Good morning.
Amy Carter, our video media producer, is behind the glass. Please turn your cell phones off or on vibrate. When you come to the press center's table, please approach by coming down the center aisle. And remember, this meeting is being televised, so you need to speak clearly and directly into the microphone for recording purposes. In other words, look good. At this time, we please would stand for the invocation and pledge by Commissioner Ostro.
Say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, we humbly ask your blessing on all that we do, especially over today's meeting. Guide us in our discussion. Enlighten our minds in every decision that we make. Give us your grace that we may effectively lead as public servants. Help us over all the decisions that we make in our daily lives, always reminding us to put the good of the people ahead of our needs. And always help us to strive to work for your greater glory. All these things we ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please be seated.
Mr. President?
Approval of the consent agenda.
Okay. I'm going to amend the consent agenda to include a letter of support for the Southern Maryland RC&D's Golden Beach Shoreline Protection and Beach Restoration Project application to the Chesapeake Coastal Grants Gateway through the Maryland Department of Natural Resources. So I move to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of December 6, 2022, along with this letter.
Amended.
As amended.
Second.
First and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have, commissioners, we have a couple accommodations to do. So I think Clifford Fuller retirement, and I think Mr. Colvin is going to do it first. Robert, come forward, please.
Come on forward. So it's an honor to be here with you this morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. So this commendation reads, the Commissioners of St. Mary's County officially commends Clifford Fullard for 31 years and 9 months of outstanding, praiseworthy, and dedicated service with St. Mary's County government from March 4th, 1991 to January 1st, 2023. Through your diligence, dedication, and relentless pursuit of excellence, you have rightfully earned the community's gratitude, respect, and admiration. We hereby express our sincere congratulations on this occasion of your retirement and extend best wishes for your future endeavors and ask God's blessing upon you. This date, December 13, 2022. Would you like to make some comments?
Yeah, I'd like to say a few words.
Whatever you want.
I'd like to thank my wife and my family. 30 years watch my family grow. A lot of times I wasn't there, being on call and different things. So I'm glad they're all here today, represent me. I really appreciate it. And my boss is back there, all my co-workers. Man, you guys are wonderful, wonderful bunch of guys. So thank you.
Wonderful.
Did you get us all in, or we?
Yes, I can get us all in. So make sure I can see everyone's smiling face. Not above the face though. All right. One, two, three. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And then, hold on, can we have the coworkers come up as well? All of you guys, come on up. All of you. Don't look at me like you're hiding.
Putting it up here.
We'll stay aside. Anyone hiding in the back?
It's gonna be you soon enough. What's that?
Find out today.
Oh, boy.
All right, if you are small, you might have to go to the back.
Yeah, you go. Okay. Stand on your tippy toes. Hey, now.
Hey, dude. Hey.
You're going to be looking for the window in between two people in front of you. That way you know each other.
Don't try to hide, I will make you scream out.
Insert. There you go.
All right. All right, everyone smile. 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you.
There we go.
On the post office wall.
Okay, next we have Mr. Lacey's retirement. Please come forward.
Commissioners of St. Mary's County officially commends James Lacey for 20 years and 8 months of outstanding, praiseworthy, and dedicated service with St. Mary's County government from April 30th, 2002 to January 1st, 2023. Through your diligence, dedication, relentless pursuit of excellence, you have rightfully earned the community's gratitude, respect, and admiration. We hereby express our sincere congratulations on this occasion of your retirement and extend best wishes for your future endeavors and ask God's blessing upon you. This date, December 13th, 2022. Would you like to say a few words?
I got to say, it's been a pleasure working for Carson Rec, and I thank the world of my co-workers that I work with.
Very good.
Especially me.
Yep, we'll do commissioners, family, friends, and coworkers.
Okay.
All right.
Family, please. Family up here, there we go.
Perfect. Repeat process.
Co-workers. Mr. Shepherd and co-workers.
Come on up for Recreation Park.
Duck around back again.
Back here, so.
Act like you like.
Okay, then we're gonna move you guys more towards the center of the frame.
All right.
That's all, that's good.
Everyone smile, no one hide. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
It's all downhill from here. That's part of it. Buffy, this always reminds me of when you were in court and doing adoption, you know, it's like happy. Yeah. Right, right.
Give him about a minute to settle down.
Yep, yep.
Okay, we're going right into our next phase of the meeting today, into County Administrator time. Mr. Weisskopf.
Thank you, Commissioner President Guy. We'll start off, as always, with the draft agendas for January 10th, because there is no meeting December 22nd, 27th, and January 3rd. So Tuesday, January 10th, you'll start at your normal time and place with the invocation and pledge by Commissioner President Guy, followed by 2 commendations for John Polisi and Theodore Weiner from the State's Attorney's Office, and followed by County Administrator time, Commissioner time, adjourn, and then at 1:30, you will have fiscal year 2024 budget work session. And then you will adjourn. And starting with today, you will have the Sheriff's Office fiscal year 2023 State Aid for Police Protection Grant Award. And I see Captain Yingling and Lottie Bell from the Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, Commissioners and Mr.
Good morning.
Weisskopf.
Morning.
The State Aid for Police Protection Grant is an annual formula grant to be used exclusively to provide adequate police protection in the subdivisions and qualifying municipalities of Maryland. Through the SAP grant, state funds provide additional revenue to supplement resources for police protection expenditures in our local communities. In November 2021, the Sheriff's Office applied for the state fiscal year 2023 State Aid for Police Protection Grant. As a key plank of Governor Hogan's Refund the Police initiative, additional funding has been awarded to provide police officers with expanded resources to support operational costs and to help keep communities safe. In your package today, you have a budget amendment to increase the project budget for MD 2330 from $948,976 to $1,319,367, based on the notification of grant award received relative to the FY23 State Aid for Police Protection Grant application. This is $370,391 more than anticipated. Legislation was passed for this increased funding to continue for 3 years. So if you have any questions, we're happy to answer.
Very good. I move to approve the budget amendment relative to the FY 2023 State Aid for Police Protection Grant Award, Project MD 2330, from the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention, Youth, and Victim Services, and authorize the Commissioner President to execute the related document, which will increase the project revenue by $370,391.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Commissioners. And next up is also from the Office of the Sheriff for the fiscal year 2024 state aid for police protection application.
So this is the FY24 version of the application from what you just approved, so I won't repeat the specifics on that. But today we present Part 1 of the State Aid for Police Protection Grant application, which is for the estimated FY24 costs, and we base that primarily on the FY23 budgeted amounts. Also included in this application is budgetary information provided by the county's Department of Finance, Information and Technology, Public Works and Transportation, Risk Management, and Emergency Services. The assistance of these other departments is very much appreciated. This grant funding will be included in the Sheriff's FY24 budget request as a revenue-only grant to assist in offsetting police protection expenditures. The FY23 amount for state aid and police protection will be included in our 24 budget request until an award amount is provided by the state. This is a complex submission. Captain Yingling and I will try to answer any questions, should you have any.
So at this time, we don't know the exact amount. We assume it'll be roughly the same amount.
It is formula-driven, and it's been very consistent over the last many years.
Okay.
Excellent.
Good. Any other questions, Commissioner? Need a motion?
I move to approve the grant submission for the FY 2024 state aid for police protection program from the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention, Youth and Victim Services, and authorize the Commissioner President and Sheriff to execute the related documents and staff to submit electronically.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next up from the Office of Finance is the St. Mary's County Public Schools Budget Amendment MBMS bladder tank replacement. And Jeanette Cudmore presenting along with Ms. Kimberly Howe and Dr. Jeffers.
Oh, boy.
Yes, good morning,
Oh, boy.
Commissioners. So we have here today a budget amendment from the CI Board of Ed for their Margaret Brent Middle School bladder tank replacement. Kim Howe, if you'd like to provide the details.
Yes. Advance to the next slide, please. So good morning. So not sure everyone understands what a bladder tank is, so I'll give a real quick definition. At Margaret Brent Middle School, in conjunction with the well pump, we have 6 bladder tanks. And what that allows us to have is on demand the amount of water we would need to, say, flush all the toilets or to have the cafeteria working. So it does provide that additional support. 4 of the 6 are currently not taking in air, leaving only 2 working. 1 is not at full capacity. So we are concerned about their future as we move forward. They're 20 years old with a life expectancy of 15 years, so they have served us well. We are rapidly approaching the point of imminent failure with those systems. We did put this project out to bid, so if you could go to the next slide. And the project came in with a contingency of $221,650. This was not an approved CIP project. It had not been requested at this point. So we identified and worked with Ms. Cudmore to identify funds that we have within existing projects in the school system. So the Chapticon High School soil erosion project is nearing completion. There's just a little bit of work left to do, but we identified $70,000 in that project. We did look at the site acquisition project. All of the work at the ELIF property has been completed, so this project can be closed out, and that has an additional $91,279 we can apply to this project. And then we did look at our relocatable classrooms and the projects that we have to complete, and we identified the remaining $60,371. So within our 3 projects we have, we've identified the full funding to complete this project. Next slide. So our request is for a budget amendment in the amount of $221,650 to complete this project.
What's your expected timeline on getting it?
So the bladder tanks have a lead time of about 6 to 8 weeks. So we're looking at February. We do have included in the contract is the conversion over to a temporary system in the event that we needed to do that. So that is built into that contract as well, so February.
So right now you have 2 tanks that work.
We have 1.5 right now
1.5
currently.
now.
1 is starting to fail as well, yes.
And this is replacement of the whole tank, not just the bladder inside?
It is the, hold on one second. JR? The entire tank,
The entire tank.
yes.
Because these are like metal tanks that you pump water into, and it's got a rubberized bladder inside of it that pressurizes so the well pump is not running constantly or whatever you.
Just
And
much
in the-
larger version of what everyone has with their well.
Exactly. And in the future, this is, the well pump that is going into there, feed that works with us is an on-off switch. The technology has advanced to
Right.
variable speeds, which will assist with us in the future. So it's not failing now, has had additional wear on it trying to do this. So that will be a future consideration in the CIP would be the well pump replacement in accordance with its life cycle replacement as well.
And this would replace all the tanks,
All
not
six.
just all six?
All six.
It should be, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good. I move
Any other
to.
questions, Commissioners?
Okay.
You know,
I move to approve the Commissioners of St. Mary's County approve the budget amendments as approved by the Board of Education on November 30th, 2022, moving $221,650 from 3 existing capital improvement projects to fund the emergency replacement of bladder tanks at Margaret Brent Middle School and sign related documents.
Second.
I have a first and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Just
Thank you,
Since you
Commissioners.
came all the way up here, Dr. Jaffers, any thoughts that you want to share on this?
No, I found out what a bladder tank was, so it's a little
Okay.
bit of calculus, a little bit of mathematics. So it's not at home, so yeah.
Oh, I've got a small bladder tank in here. It's 40, it's only 40.
Now, that's quotable for the paper, right?
I know what that is. I understand that, but when you see 6, how big are these tanks? How big are each one of these tanks? You know the size of them?
Maybe
200 gallons, 150 gallons?
The size of the
Yeah, they're 5. Yes, I do.
How many gallons each?
the temporary tank's 100 gallons.
They're 100 gallons each?
Temporary one is, yeah.
Well, while he's looking at that, as we mentioned in the last board work session that you had, these are the type of projects that we're talking about when we started talking about interim projects to extend the life of systems. This is something normally you would look at when you do the full HVAC. So these are the type of things, along with chiller replacements, that we're going to be trying to work on to extend life and get additional time out of our systems.
Well, we appreciate taking good care of our schools, and this is part of it, and we have no problem. Thank you.
528 gallons each.
How much?
528
Wow.
Each?
each.
Good Lord. Wow. That's a lot of toilet flushing. Wow. Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, from the Department of Public Works and Transportation, Friends of the Library Lease, Mr. Jim Gotch presenting, and is Mr. Timberlake here as well? Certainly. Welcome.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning.
Feel like I'm sitting low today. Okay, I have 2 awesome things to bring to you today. The first is the Friends of the Library lease. So we lease a space out in the Armory building, the old library, right here in Leonardtown. And it's for a 501c3 nonprofit organization, Friends of the Library. Mr. Timberlake can explain exactly what they do. We lease it for $1 a year, and they rent the old shooting range portion of the library. There's a picture in the exhibit. Anyhow, this is a renewal of a lease. So this lease is set for 3 years with 2 one-year options to extend the lease up to 5 years. And what we're asking for today is your approval of the lease. But if you can explain what you guys do, this is very helpful to the county as well.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, the Friends of the Libraries existed since the early 90s. It's brought in about well over $700,000 for the library. We're going up every year in terms of our spring sale. We raised over $50,000 this spring. We just had our Christmas sale, and we've got online sales going on. So the library, the county, gets all of that for giving us an old shooting range and an old building. We've had a one-year lease. It's worked very well. We proved good neighbors of the Board of Elections and vice versa. And so want to urge you to agree to the lease, but it's a good arrangement, win-win on all sides. And if you haven't been to one of the sales, please come to the spring sale, and you'll see all the county coming together over books, and it's a great sight to see. Thank you.
Do you know the date of your spring sale? You have it yet?
We haven't set it up yet.
Okay.
It's going to be in early April.
Okay, good, good.
Those sales are dangerous. I walk away with way too many books at way too good a price.
The last time I got too many cookbooks, I didn't need them. But, oh well.
We do a lot of recycling.
Yeah.
Bring them
Bring
back.
them back, right? I know. I've been over there. It's, you all do a great job. I appreciate everything you do and keeping these books recycled, whatever. And of course, it's a great tribute to our libraries, that money you do raise every year.
And there's no such thing as too many books.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I agree with that. Yeah. Anything else, Commissioners? Okay, I need a motion.
I move to approve the lease agreement between the Commissioners, St. Mary's County, Friends of the St. Mary's County Library Incorporated for continued use of existing space in the Leonardtown Armory, and authorize the Commissioner President to sign all related documents.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Continue good work, sir. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you all. I appreciate it, and so do our 450 members. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is also from the Department of Public Works and Transportation for the STS Fiscal Year 23 Capital Grant Award, and I see Ms. Allison Swint making her way to the table with Mr. Gotch. Morning.
Good morning, Allison.
Okay, so this one, each year, we receive capital and operating grants from basically MDOT through the MTA for our STS bus system. And this is the capital grant portion. It expires at the end of the year, so we have to sign a new agreement every year. So that's where we are today. And this agreement is awarding the county, well, the grant agreement is for $489,810, almost $500,000. And then of that, the state's portion is about $392,000, and then, or the federal government's $392,000, then about $49,000 from the state and $49,000 from us. And what that gets us is we get 3 new STS buses and maintenance for $49,000. And so what we're trying to do is get approval for the receiving the grant, and then get Commissioner Guy to sign it so we can submit electronically.
I think Jim covered it. Roughly, it's just the, in this award, preventative maintenance and 3 buses, one of which is a smaller non-CDL bus. And we use those to essentially try to home grow our workforce through our CDL training facility. So this one will be our 3rd.
Yeah, you guys know that we have a training class through the Department of Transportation, and we'll take on drivers that are not CDL trained, train them, and get a passenger endorsement and put them into the CDL fleet. So if one of the buses that we get is a non-CDL, it's a great way to get somebody on the road the day they
Right
come
away,
in.
yeah, that's good, that's good.
Correct.
But
How
we
long
are
does it
still
take-
looking for drivers.
Oh, always.
Yes.
Always.
Yes, the driver shortage is still very much
there, yeah.
ongoing, but the training facility is our way to try to combat that and hire anybody with just a regular driver's license. And what's great about our training facility is we can train them at our leisure. So if we need them to work an 8-hour day, for example, and then we can train them the second half. The training is a little bit slower, but it's not as structured and rigid as sending them to CSM.
Well, how long is this training? How many hours does it take? Is there a certain hour course?
It is. There's theory and behind the wheel, and to be honest, I don't have those numbers, but it's approximately between the online training and the behind the wheel training 4 weeks if they run
4 weeks?
4 hours a day.
4 hours a day, okay.
I'm sorry, 8 hours a day for 4
8 hours a
weeks.
day?
Yes.
That's quite a bit, yeah, okay. Just letting people know that's what it takes to get a CDL license. It's part of the training, okay. Any other questions, Commissioners?
None.
All right, I move to approve the FY 2023 capital grant agreement between the Commissioners of St. Mary's County and the Maryland Department of Transportation, Maryland Transit Administration for the St. Mary's Transit System programs in the amount of $489,810. Authorize the DPWNT Director to submit the grant agreement electronically, approve the related budget amendments to realign federal and local funding, and authorize the Commissioner President to execute the related documents.
Second.
Got a first, second. One other question. How are we doing on getting our bus stops? Start on that yet?
We've actually started passing out signs.
Yes, so the signs went to what I call the private entities, such as Walmart, Target, et cetera. Those signs have been delivered.
Oh, okay, good, good.
I actually saw one, they put it in a window, not on the outside of the building, so we'll have a conversation about that, but they are starting to put those up. I have yet to hear from the state. Last time I was before you, I was assured that I would have information on October 24th, and here we are approximately 2 months.
2 months later on this.
And I still don't have it. So
Yeah, I know they're going through a transition up there in Annapolis, but I need to pressure them about these bus stops.
Yeah, so when you hit roadblocks like that, come to us and let us push it up the chain too. Because we're
Certainly.
meeting with the delegation tonight, and that
We can
could be a
push it
good
with
topic
them.
to
We
bring
can
up.
push it with them too, yeah.
Certainly.
So we need to know that because I really want to get these stops in place. We don't want any more accidents of any kind. So
Understood.
good. Okay, I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you. And next up, from the Department of Information Technology, the grant application for Connect Maryland Office of Statewide Broadband Fiscal Year 2023 Connected Devices Program. Mr. Bob Kelly, IT Director, presenting.
Mr. Kelly, welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm before you this morning on a new grant opportunity coming out of the Office of Statewide Broadband. This is actually under their digital equity umbrella, and this is a heavy lift, I think, for county government, but requesting permission for the commissioners to authorize the submission of this grant. And what this grant what we're requesting is 4,500 HP Chromebooks to be distributed to, and there's a whole criteria for the grant, for the grantees, but basically low income and elderly, some of our senior folks, that would actually, so basically the state has already issued a contract. They've issued a contract for 145,000 of these Chromebooks to be issued throughout the state. And this grant notice came out about 3 weeks ago. So we got together with many partners, Department of Aging and Human Services, Department of Aging and Human Services, Recreation and Parks, Sheriff's Office. The St. Mary's County Public Schools has provided some help and continues to. The Housing Authority of St. Mary's County and the public libraries. And just yesterday, we received a notice of intent to participate with the NAACP in St. Mary's County. So, it's a heavy lift for us. We need a lot of partners, and I'll actually try to get on the commissioner's blue sheet so you can help us with the distribution if you're available. But we have, if awarded, the laptop or the Chromebooks would actually be delivered to St. Mary's County directly from the vendor. It's over a 6-month period where we will receive them, a portion of them each of the first 5 months, and we have 6 months to get these distributed out. So we're heavily dependent upon our partners that have signed up and are going to help us do that. The concept is at least initially, the concept is we'll use our libraries and maybe a couple of our recreation centers to be distribution points, set up distribution days, and there's some criteria that we have to record because it's one device per home, so we have to record that, and report that to the state. I think this is an excellent opportunity for St. Mary's County to continue what has been the commissioner commitment on getting access to broadband and getting the tools in the citizens' hands to be able to access those resources that are available on the internet.
Well, this fits in very well with what we've talked about in the past, where we've seen the narrative change from just getting broadband infrastructure out there to ensuring that everyone has access to the infrastructure once it's there. So thank you for taking this on. I know this is a big lift for an already busy department, but I think all of these partners will definitely be willing to help and provide good assistance.
Well, we have letters for them, so.
You didn't mention social services. They'd probably be a good contact point too for.
Yeah, we have reached out. I don't actually have a letter yet from those.
Yeah, I know they're government. I mean, they're
Yes.
state type thing, but.
So one of the challenges that we've had is that there's limitations on sharing this private, some of this is private information, right, income levels and stuff like that. So it really takes a lot of cooperation, and we have to be very careful. So there's almost a push-pull, right? We have to verify that they're eligible, but then there's some restrictions on folks that are eligible. So we have to work through those details. But this grant submission actually lays out, I wouldn't say extensive detail what the plan is, but in pretty good detail how we would, if awarded, how we would distribute these to the citizens of the county.
Mr. Kelly, these 4,500 Chromebooks, this number, is that based on the current amount of applications we have, or does that leave some room there for more applications to come in?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So no one has applied, and so what we did working with those partners that I mentioned, we know that there are in St. Mary's County Public Schools, there's a significant number of free and reduced meals, which is one of the criteria. And then talking with Aging and Human Services, they gave us an estimate on their seniors that they believe are eligible. And then we also know that there's other criteria for Medicaid and some veterans. So it's not an exact number, but it is based upon the best that we can get. Again, the challenge has been some of that information is private, and they're not able to share that information.
So I know you have a long-standing relationship with Mr. Gordon, and you've worked well in the past. Confidence level on receiving this grant, and we're not going to hold you to it, but how do you feel about our chances on getting these laptops?
So with 145,000 already purchased for the state of Maryland, I think the number that we're requesting is reasonable for our community, and in comparison to the rest of the state, I think it's reasonable.
Good. Very good. This is great. I just heard something recently about additional money coming out for infrastructure as far as extending. We got, I think, the last couple of days have come out from the state or federal government.
There are a few more programs that are coming out of the Office of Statewide Broadband. We're expecting, of course, a couple, 2 weeks ago, I think I was before the previous board, and Verizon Fios has submitted their grant application for St. Mary's County, so that's interesting. That's promising anyway. And it's my understanding that there's a long driveway grant that's supposed to be issued from the state of Maryland.
That's what I just heard.
In January or February. We should see that.
Okay.
Excellent.
So hopefully that it's not going to require too much editing and too much writing, and it would be nice if it was just an allocation to the.
Yes, I hope so.
But sometimes you have
just
to
read
write.
about that.
You have to write grants. So.
Yeah.
Anything else, commissioners?
I move to approve the grant application requesting 4,500 HP Chromebooks to be distributed with community partners to grant-eligible residents that cannot afford to purchase internet-enabled computer equipment, and authorize the Commissioner-President to sign all related documents.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. And next up, from the Department of Recreation and Parks, the Snow Hill Park open burn permit, Mr. Art Shepard presenting, along with Deputy Chief Tatum from the Hollywood Fire Department, Volunteer Fire Department, excuse me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Chief.
As we progress forward there at Snow Hill, a lot to be done. I want to tell you that the surveying's going on for the roadway, survey for use. The borings have been done on the park regarding the pervious surface and the surface we're going to use. And now we come to this point of demolition that we've talked about, the Manor House. So the Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department, one of the ways to do that is for open burn, fire burn for training, which is an acceptable use for doing that. Let me give you a brief coming into that real quick. So the Manor House on that property, one of the questions that get asked the most is its historical significance. You know we've done the determination of eligibility, the Maryland Historical Trust, no significant historical significance there with the building. So that's one. We're looking for possibly March of '23 for the burn to take place. That way we have time and then we're removed and get ready for the park opening. So what we're doing, asking you to authorize this, because now this says to the Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department, yes, there's permission, and now you can take the next step level to be prepared to get going. Now, I've looked at everything to know our responsibilities, and certainly Deputy Chief Tatum is well aware from the Fire Protection Agency 1403. That's what they use. That's what Maryland Department of Environment is requires, that you have a safety plan, and especially when it comes to hazardous waste. Hollywood's already been there. They've removed air conditioning units, appliances, fuel oil's been removed, other hazardous waste items, the windows have been removed. So we're well on the way for all hazardous waste to be burned. So then now this will be in a regional instructional, and you can see that's in a permissible use. And lastly, we've begun notifying our neighbors, and then we'll confirm the date later. Mr. Tom Dixon next door, and then Sampson Harbor, the new owner there, notifying them there could be a potential burn at that site. So Mr. Deputy Chief is here, Edward Tatum, and then any questions you might have regarding this burn permit, because I know you're looking for a quality demolition at the same time, safety on that property.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure the fire department will be safe what they're doing. And a good training, too. My gosh, probably unbelievable training.
Very once in a lifetime opportunity for this type of structure to be utilized for not only just the Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department, but all St. Mary's County.
Yeah, because it's a big structure, yeah. Any other questions, Commissioners? Okay, we need to have a motion.
I move to approve and authorize Commissioner President to sign the open burning permit for controlled burn of the Snow Hill Park Manor House by the Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, also from Mr. Art Shepard, is the Gymnastics Center 7th Amendment to the lease.
7.
Easy now. As you and I continue to move forward as preparing an adequate and safe and efficient place for our gymnasts, we need some more time as we're into discussion. So what we're asking here is through the Patuxent River Village Center, the realty company, another month lease, because it expires December 31. And as we get into more talks and negotiation, we're asking for another month of the lease through January.
Okay.
Is this a continuation of the current lease that we have?
Yes, on all the funding's the same amount.
I move to approve and authorize the Commissioner President to sign 7th Amendment to lease of the Gymnastics Center between the county and Pax River Village LLC.
Second.
Discussion, are we working on another year's lease on this here now?
Well, I'm sure I'll be before you soon about what a lease looks like and where we're going to be for the future. Yeah, and the realty company's been in contact in January. Prior to that, they want to have a discussion first. They want to talk with staff regarding where we headed and some of the new plans.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. So it could be an 8th.
Could be an 8th Amendment.
Before we get to the final.
Okay, we have a first and second this time. Everybody agree?
I agree.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Commissioners, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shepard. Next up is from the Department of Emergency Services for the Emergency Operations Plan. Mr. Steve Walker presenting along with Mr. Gerald Gardner.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good
morning.
So emergency operation plan, that is what guides us in emergency management. When you think about emergency management, natural disasters, weather related, anytime you see all that, that's where it comes out. Mr. Gardner, just a quick word on that for our new commissioners. He is appointed by the governor. My recommendation comes to you as a commissioner as to who that would be. Then you would confer with that, and then you decided that that's the appropriate, you would send it on to the governor, and he is appointed. So he is actually a part of the governor's emergency management response. And he gets on regular phone calls with the state, and again, it's an important part. Just a quick note on that. The emergency operation plan, I think you've seen it, very large. Most of it is public. There might be a couple of pieces that, for operational safety, we would like to be cautious of what we share. But I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Gardner. When we activate and we are in that room, he leads us in that room. And I'm there to support, to be, liaison with you. Mr. Gardner is our emergency management professional, does an excellent job. And again, he's going to go through this.
Mr. Gardner, you got it.
All right, we're going to do a quick PowerPoint presentation, just to kind of an overview. It's a great opportunity since we have two new commissioners. I know that Mr. Colvin is very familiar with our Emergency Operations Center. He said in 125 of 127 meetings that we had versus discussing COVID.
I did.
So with that, so the basic plan of our EOP is the laws and authorities, definitions, glossary, emergency support functions, which we call ESFs. Everything has to have an acronym. And then incident hazards or event-specific annexes, and then our management of how we run our EOC. So that is the basic of what we have in there. Again, it's a very large document, as you're aware of. Next. And go through all of them until you get to 17. So again, I'm not going to spend time explaining each and every one of these. They're pretty self-explanatory. But our ESFs, we discuss the evacuation and communications, the all 17 ESFs, who the primary agency that's responsible for that, and then who the supporting agencies and what their roles and responsibilities are. So the idea, if Gerald Gardner is sitting at the front of the table, or Steve Walker sitting at the front of the table, or Miss Amy Bledsoe in the back is sitting at the end of the table, there's consistency throughout, right? So we're not all doing it all different ways. But we address the ESFs. The next is the annexes that we put in there that are pertinent to St. Mary's County. Next. And you can go all the way to L. And we talk about the controlled entry and re-entry. So if there's say a tornado in a subdivision, how we're going to control entry and how we're going to let citizens come back and re-enter, right? It needs to be safe. And again, A through L, all the different annexes that we have, who is the primary responsible agency, and then who are the support agencies. So debris management plan is a very big one, right? So DPNW is the debris management plan. They're the primary role, and then there's supporting agencies underneath that. Next. So our EOP is a living, working document that changes very, very often. And I say that because what we do is after we have an incident, or if we have a big exercise or drill, we'll do what they call an after-action improvement plan. So we'll identify things that went well, things that didn't go so well, who's responsible, and what we can do to change it. And then what we will do, can you back up one? Is we'll take that information and we'll work with the primary agency in making those changes. Then what we do is we send them out to the supporting agencies. So if we're doing something where, let's say, sheltering of citizens, right? So social service is the primary agency, but we have animal control, we have law enforcement, we have EMS, we have the health department, we have schools, and then, of course, social services. So we have 6 agencies, departments. We'll work with social services in developing the updated verbiage, if you will. Then we'll send it out to all 6 of them and say, here's what we're recommending and changes, and get their buy-in and blessing. And then we'll make the necessary changes, and then we'll send those changes out to everybody that has a plan. Department of Agriculture does not really have any impact on sheltering. So again, we send it to the supporting agencies and the primary agencies. And I will tell you that it changes all the time, and everything that we think about is right because of the way the world changes and technology. It's always changing. It's a very living, working document. Next. So our process for EOC activation, we have an incident occurs or an event. We usually get notification from 911 communications. The Director of Emergency Services will decide on type, scope, or level of EOC activation. What required personnel agencies are notified that we're activating. EOC and the EOP would be activated, and then all the other agencies would be notified. So if an event, a hurricane is coming or a weather event, Thursday there's potential, right? So nasty weather, it's all over the place. Amy and I have been looking at it since last Friday, and it changes all the time. But we have a call today at 3:30 with the National Weather Service to get some good indications of what they're expecting. If we determine that we need to activate the EOC, we'll go to Steve and say, this is what we want to do. This is why we want to do it. Here's who we want in the EOC, and then we'll make notifications. Again, the agencies that are represented there in the EOC, we will also let the other agencies know because they might have input or actions that need to be taken.
So I make that decision. Clearly, I rely on him very, very much. He is the professional. I can't think, I don't know if there's been any times where they've suggested and I've said no. He's the expert, so I'm going to rely on my personnel that know what to do, and they do a great job. So usually we're on the same page anyway, and we're thinking the same. But again, I've got to rely on the experts, and he is. So.
And so I'll tell you, with each one of those boxes, there could be 1 or 50 things that are happening behind the scene that we're not even discussing. So, once we decide we're activated, Steve gets with the county administrator who lets the commissioners know, Department of Finance gets involved. So there's many, many things that are happening. So what our EOP again does is keep it concise, consistent, and manageable, managing expectations and restoring services to St. Mary's County. Next. And so that's what we do, and we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to work on our EOP. It will change. One of the biggest changes that we had 2 years ago was with COVID, because EOC, you always came there in person, and we started that, and then we had to start social distancing, so we went from having 30 people in the room to having 6 people in the room and 26 on the conference calls, and then it got to where we didn't have anybody in the room. Everybody was on conference calls. But we worked with the partners because, and as hopefully Mr. Colvin can attest, that there's a lot of partnerships, a lot of work between agencies and departments to make things happen. I will tell you, we found this. This is very interesting. This is the 1964 Emergency Operations Plan. It deals with Cold War.
So our plan, this is 1964, our plan is big, right? But it's all hazards. It's tornadoes, it's hurricanes, it's mass shootings, it's sheltering, it's debris management. So, any questions?
So our request today is for you to approve this updated EOP manual that allows us to continue to use it with these updates.
No questions, but just to brag on you all a little bit, you do regular FEMA drills because of our location or proximity to Calvert Cliffs nuclear power plant. And FEMA comes in and grades, and there's a set scenario that you'll work through that's different every time. I think last time I saw it, there was a plane crash at the last minute out by the Outback, and it was comical, but it was interesting. But you hit the nail on the head with the cooperation, and that's what it's all about. And one of the interesting things that I think you probably told me, or somebody told me at one point, is that communities that are located close to nuclear power plants are better prepared for emergencies across the country because you do those regular drills.
That is true.
And you have this detailed plan developed, and it's good for our citizens. It's good for all of us. So thank you.
Yeah, so our radiological plan, this is 527 pages. Our radiological plan is probably around 460 pages, and we have to do that every 2 years. As y'all said it's no pre-staging.
Yep.
We have to activate, call our partners in, and it's not a checkbox, as you are aware. You know, we've had 4 to 6 FEMA people there that are looking at probably around 250 different things that they are looking at, right? From what kind of equipment we have, how do we get notification to law enforcement down on the street? There's so many criteria. So I can say that we've been successful in our demonstrations and have gotten a lot of attaboys and also best practices where they take some things that we did. We came up with, Mark Pettit, a QSR code that we can give to all of our emergency responders that are out on the street so they can get all the information, right? So they took that back, and they're telling other jurisdictions and agencies, hey, you might want to look at doing something like that. So again, it's a collaborative effort. And there's a lot of good things that happen.
And for the other commissioners, they've cross-trained with this too. So Amy led it one time and did phenomenal. And
last time, yes,
so
she
it's
ran.
not just Gerald
Correct.
that knows how to do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if he's not there, Amy steps up. If Amy's not there, I step up.
It's a massive coordination effort. It's been well done last time. That was, it's amazing, and people don't really see it. That room full of people, all the agencies working together to keep our citizens safe, and we definitely appreciate it.
Yep. Well, I move to approve the Emergency Services Operation Plan as presented.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you all.
Commissioners.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner President Guy. That ends the county administrator's time.
That's it, huh? Okay, let's go ahead and Commissioner time. We'll start with Eric again.
All right. Thank you very much. So, a lot of good stuff going on. This is our last meeting of 2022. It's hard to believe, but we'll see everyone again next year. I'm going to get on my soapbox on a topic that I get on usually every year. The federal government has still not passed a budget, yet your county government has already started their budget process, and I can 100% promise you we will have a balanced budget passed on time before the legal deadline. We will have it done. Last I looked, and maybe something's happened in the last 2 hours, but last I looked, the continuing resolution is set to expire December 16th, and the word on the street was it would get extended for another week. So for those of you who work on the base, my coworkers and stuff, it's just a nightmare. It's not fun. It's a huge hassle. It is very poor planning, poorly executed, poorly done, and that's people at the federal level not doing their job. Simply put, they're not doing their job, yet we continue to send them back there to not do their job. So I'll get off my soapbox on that. But tonight, I do want to remind everyone we have a joint meeting with our state delegation. Our senator and delegates will be here at 6 p.m. We're going to talk about legislation. There'll be a public forum. Everyone is welcome to attend and participate, so hope to see you there, or you can watch it online. Over the weekend, I had the opportunity to attend the Cosmic Symphony's Christmas concert. It was phenomenal. They did a wonderful job. They're going to be doing another concert in the spring, so be on the lookout for that. It's local artists doing local music, and it's just a really great concert. It was free. It was open to everyone. A really good time, so thank you to everyone who made that possible and put that on. Finally, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope you have a safe and happy New Year, and look forward to continuing our work. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Follow up with Commissioner Colvin. First off, I'm going to get Merry Christmas out of the way, and a couple things I want to hit on real quick is youth sports. I hear a lot of complaints, issues brought up about not enough for the kids to do. Well, my son plays Rec and Parks basketball, and we use Chopticon High School gym. The gym is packed to the gills every Sunday for games. And these are just middle school kids. And the programs are out there. Please take advantage of them. I know Director Shepherd would love to see more participation. As you know, I'm a strong supporter of youth sports. I coach both of my kids in soccer from the time they were 5. And I will always remain the guy beating the drum to get more kids into youth sports. Also this weekend, I was able to participate in the Shop with the Cop program as a member of the 7th District Optimist Club. Now, if you've never worked with Shop with a Cop, that is the spirit of Christmas and the spirit of community. Seeing these kids come in with these police officers, all the allied, we had Sheriff's Office, Maryland State Police, DNR, Coast Guard, we had NCIS off PACS, we had PAC security forces, and if I've missed anybody, please forgive me. We had 117 kids this year, so the need is out there, but the feeling that you get, it just warms your soul. And just remember that it's not all about, capitalism and buying stuff and everything. It's also about giving and thinking. And once again, Merry Christmas, everybody, and thank you.
Scott.
Well, as well, I'd like to wish everybody Merry Christmas. Christmas time is fast approaching. I had a wonderful week this past week. I had the opportunity to fill in for a very good friend of mine who's awful busy this time of year. I was able to fill in for my good friend Santa Claus and be Santa for the Marine Corps League at the VFW, and I was also able to go out to one of the local schools, Town Creek Elementary, and be Santa for one of their functions. So that was an amazing time, great time to see the kids. I love the way their faces light up when they see Santa, and that's just a wonderful time for me. So I always love that opportunity. And I want to thank the organizations that invited me to do so. I appreciate that very much. Also, there's lots of shopping opportunities this time of year to get out and support local business. The Soft Mart here in Leonardtown and loads of other places all throughout the county. Lots of craft fairs still going on as we head towards Christmas. So I'm asking everybody to please get out, support those local businesses, help our friends and neighbors grow their businesses. The weather, it's as we head to Christmas and into the first of the year, the weather's getting colder. So please, everybody, take an opportunity to get out there and make sure the outside of your homes are prepared for the cold weather. Wrap those pipes that might be exposed, disconnect those hoses, all those things so we don't have any issues with your homes. Please also check on your elderly neighbors. Make sure that they have everything that they need as we head into cold weather. If they need some help around the house, please think about lending a hand and helping them so they can enjoy this holiday season as well without any emergencies in their home. And this is the last meeting before we re-adjourn back in on January 10th. So I just want to make sure I have this opportunity to wish everybody a happy and safe Christmas and a very Merry New Year. Everybody enjoy these holidays. Please stay safe. and hope to see everybody back here tonight. And if you can't join us here personally, please tune in, 6:30 tonight. Should be a great meeting.
6.
Thank you, Commissioners.
6.
I want everybody, too, to have a safe and Merry Christmas, no doubt about it. So remember that as you get out there, enjoy your families, and have a good time. I also want to thank all the participants. I belong to the Leonardtown Lions Club, and this is probably one of the greatest events of our year. This coming Saturday, we distribute gifts to needy children. And thank you for those who took the names off the tree at the hardware store. Thank you for the members of our club. Thank you for Riken High School for their participation. And this Saturday morning, we get together at the fairgrounds. Those of us with pickup trucks pick up all this stuff, and we go distribute to needy kids. And it's truly a heartwarming experience. Every time you walk into somebody's house where they have very little to support their family, and we bring gifts into them. And this is, that's part of what we do in St. Mary's County. We give. And I'm grateful for all that, for the giving that all of us do. And I thank everybody who participated in this program. Also, Christmas time, I ask for, do go out and celebrate, but like I say, be safe. That's the main thing. Remember one other thing, we don't have a meeting again until the 10th of January. And remember throughout the rest of the year that nice matters. Next, I need a motion to enter into closed session.
Move to enter into closed session to discuss personnel and real property.
Second.
Okay. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Ayes have it. One other thing, two other things, really. At 2:30 p.m., we actually have a ribbon cutting at the Northern Senior Center in Charlotte Hall. We did an expansion and some rework of the center. And somebody asked, why are we doing all this? Well, I was on a 2010 census. I was a numerator, as they call it, gathering things. And that year alone, there was an estimate of 245% increase in our seniors in St. Mary's County. So why a senior program is important? That's why. And next thing is 6 p.m. this evening, we have a joint meeting of the commissioners and our delegation. Our 3 delegates and senators should be here, and we'll talk about items that we're going to spread forward and see if they have got anything that they're going to present up there in Annapolis this coming session. Meeting adjourned.